What are you even... Oh! Hey everybody! How's it going? Welcome back to my corner. I am here in my truck just watching traffic and frankly judging people harshly. As if I'm some perfect driver, or maybe some people just have reasons that I don't understand. This is the first edition of something I want to do called Mondays from the Truck. I'm at work, kind of. I have usually a 2 or 3 hour break in between my last stop and my first pickup on Mondays. Today, I wanted to mention something I thought was kind of cool that I learned a while back about nitrogen. Maybe you'll find this interesting. I don't know. Basically, the world is, let's say, this big. Oh, and be warned, I'm about to use extremely non-scientific words for some science stuff that I... So, the world is about this big, and the atmosphere is about this big. And no matter what, the world isn't getting any bigger, nor is the atmosphere. So there's a certain amount of land space and air. There's a limit to it all. Trust me, this will make sense in a minute. So no matter what, at any given point, the Earth can only produce so much nitrogen at any point whatsoever. Nitrogen is, of course, essential to life. They like to say that carbon is quantity, nitrogen is quality, amongst other micro and macronutrients. So there's only so much that the planet can produce, which means there's only so much life that the planet can sustain, as it were, because it can only make so much nitrogen, which means it can only make so many plants, which means it can only make so many animals, which can mean only so many, blah, 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 blah. So you get the point. There's a limit to it. Oh, and a side note, atmospheric nitrogen, a lot of people don't realize that thunderstorms and lightning, when lightning, here comes the science term. When lightning shoots through the sky, it activates nitrogen molecules in the air. And when the rain goes through it, you get nitrogen-rich water that is just amazing fertilizer. And it makes plants better. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean with nitrogen. So the ground can produce so much nitrogen, and the atmosphere can produce so much nitrogen. And once that is tapped, it's tapped, and that's the limit to the planet, and that's the ecosystem. It's amazing. Well, funny side note, in the late 1800s, I think, it could be early 1900s, but I believe it was the late 1800s, with the advent of warfare and chemical warfare, we invented something that eventually, when the war was over, was used for synthetic fertilizer, and also a bunch of them are used for pesticide. With that synthetic fertilizer, we were able to produce more food than the planet should, I guess, is a good way to put it. And so with that, I've read recently, actually in a book called The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan, which isn't a new book, but it's a fantastic book. Michael Pollan has made me temporarily change my diet quite a few times. I eventually go back to eating double Whoppers with cheese, but there is a time where he really makes me want to eat grains or healthy things. So, with the advent of synthetic nitrogen, we were able to sustain more life than before. And the numbers I've read have said that 2 out of 5 people alive right now wouldn't be here had we not created synthetic nitrogen. I just think that's interesting food for thought, that not necessarily a man created too many people. I just think it's super interesting to realize that there's a cap on the planet and we exceeded it, which is a drag, but we're still here so far. But then again, all the problems that we have because we're here. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that there's only a certain amount of acreage, so there's only a limited amount of nitrogen that could be produced. There is a cap to it. I kind of never thought about it. That's my super fascinating what have you for today. Anyway, this was Mondays from the Truck Part 1. I hope this was at all interesting to you. I think that nitrogen thing is super interesting. I've got plenty more to talk about, but not right now. I am going to... almost time for me to get my pickup at Office Max, and then a Target, and then I'm off to FedEx office. So that's awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here. If I don't see you by Christmas, happy holidays, merry whatever you celebrate, and I will see you all very soon. Later.